Hey, come look at this.
What is it?
Dude, I don't know, it kind of looks like a Hot Wheel.
Why is it so squished?
I don't know. Somebody must have stepped on it.
Dude, it looks like garbage.
Can you imagine what that does to the ecosystem?
It's probably horrible.
Oh, man, this needs to be stopped.
Should we get rid of it?
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to put water in there if it's not even like, it's squished, dude?
Exactly. Some people, man, I don't understand.
Horrible. In this video, we're going to check out this 2016 bagged Subaru WRX. Let's get into it.
I've always wanted this car since I was younger. I used to watch videos like Ken Block. I used to see, all the rally cars, all the Subarus, and it really just grabbed my attention and made me want one of these cars.
My name is Nikolai. I like to film and build cool cars. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you stay up to date. We're gonna learn a whole lot about cars and see some pretty cool stuff. Let's jump into the video. What's up, guys? I'm here with Peter, and this is his 2016 Subaru WRX. So Peter, go ahead and tell us everything about the car.
Everything, that's gonna be a long one. So, all right. This is my, like you said, 2016 WRX. I've had this car for about 5+ years now. It was right before college started. I got this one and just been piecing it together, little by little and making it a little more of my own.
Nice, nice. Because you definitely have a lot of things to the car that really make it your own and really make it unique. So go ahead and tell us about the mods and just everything that you've done to this one.
Yeah, so I'm really big on finding good deals and everything like that. I'll be the first to tell you that not everything on this car I bought, brand new. You surround yourself with other people who have similar cars, kind of like what's happening right now. Like I've got a friend group and, we all just swap parts. So you'll probably see my wheels on my car for like, I don't know, however long I decide to have them. And then, you turn around and somebody else has the exact same wheels. We just swap everything. So it's always a good time. Yeah.
It's really cool. I think it's a really huge thing in the car community, but specifically like the Subaru community.
Yeah.
Is, you see these guys and they'll just swap parts and have all these cool parts on their car. Like I've seen like how many, like 5 different sets of wheels on this car, maybe more. Like it's awesome. But overall, it's really cool because having that community behind a car is really impressive, because being able to, go on forums, ask a question. If you got a problem with the car, you want to do something to the car, there's a lot of people out there who know the car, who have done similar things like that to the car already. Yeah. And it really goes well from there. And then, just kind of tell us what really made you want to get a WRX, because, obviously it's a very beautiful car, it drives well, but really what drew you to it?
Yeah, so like I said, Ken Block was really a big, seeing his videos, Gymkhana, all of that good stuff. That, man, I used to watch those, wait for them to be released, play Dirt 3, and, always choose this car, always choose a Subaru. So that was a big thing. Also, the time frame where I was at, too, when I was going to college, thinking about gas and everything. When you're looking at the STI is a beautiful car, absolutely beautiful, very driver-oriented. But I needed something for what my, purposes were. I wanted it to be good on gas, reliable. Not that the STI isn't reliable, it's a very reliable car, but I kind of pushed me more towards this for so many reasons, because I used to be able to get, like almost 30 miles to gallon on the freeway. So it was a very good economical car. Obviously you get a Prius or something, but it was good for what I needed it to do. So, after I graduated and everything, I kind of went more to the performance side, and that kind of, doesn't get as good gas mileage anymore, but it's still a tremendous car. I wouldn't change anything about it.
Nice. So you mentioned performance. Now let's talk under the hood. What do you have done to this car, engine, performance-wise, everything like that?
Yeah, so it's, I don't even know what to classify it. It's basically like a stage 2 plus, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's got as you can see, it's got the extreme turbo systems, front mount intercooler. Got that from a guy in Nevada, Facebook Marketplace. Going back to that. I got EGR TGV deletes. It's catless. It's got a Grimsby intake, and I'm going to be adding some more stuff to it in the future, like an oil cooler, because when you put that big front mount on it, it's very good. That keeps my intake temps down so much. It's phenomenal. But now I just want to add that cooling for the oil as well. So there's some more things to be done, but that's kind of what I got so far.
Nice, nice. And then now that, since you've done all those performance mods, how has that changed like the drivability, the comfort, or even just reliability of the car? Has it given you any issues or any things like that?
Generally no, and honestly, really big shout out to Mike at M-Tune Tuning. He's the guy that tunes my car, and he's been phenomenal. I mean, when I was getting my data log sent to him and everything, I would say, hey, and he'd see everything too, but I would just say it just because made me feel better as well. I would like talk about certain things that I thought were weird about it, and he would shoot me an email back, try this, and it's been phenomenal. I haven't had any issues with it since then. Actually, the tune that I have in it right now, this is the original tune before I even put the front mount on. Now he said it's not recommended. I put it on there. It's my own discretion, obviously, but it's been running perfect, even with the front mount on and everything. But not that it would really change too much. But it's, like I said, phenomenal tune, phenomenal everything. I couldn't recommend him more.
Nice.
But yeah.
And then is it a pop tune or is it just more like performance?
Yeah. So it's actually, I didn't, this is kind of the funny thing, I didn't realize it had a burble tune. Naturally the stock tune on these cars, all the guys with these cars know too, you can, if you got like a muffler delete or anything, you can rev it up when you're like in first and second gear and it'll pop. So I thought just naturally these cars are just, ran really rich and they like to pop. And then I got tuned and everything, and my friends that were also tuned by him, they're listening, they're like, I'm pretty sure you have a burble tune. And I was coming back, I think it was from Charleston, just a long drive, just messing around, and I started just lightly tapping the gas. I don't know why, I just, started doing it, and it just started continuously popping. I was like, oh, I have a burble tune, that's sweet.
That's so funny. I really love this thing. I mean, the mods on this car just really fit it together. So let's talk about this front end. So you see, you've got this hood here, like this carbon fiber one, front bumper, headlights. I mean, first of all, your headlights are blue, which I'm pretty sure they're color changing, correct?
Correct, yep.
There's so much going on. So just kind of walk through us, everything you've got visually with this car.
Yeah. So going off the headlights, these are SubiSpeed V1 sequential Eurospec headlights. Now I actually took these to a guy in Charleston. His name is Jason at Sinister Retro Works. He took apart these things. I used to have a different bumper too with LED bezels, and he took both of them apart, added in the color changing lights. These have demonized them too. They have etched lenses, added a custom pinstripe. So he really maxed them out, and I love it. I'll go to shows and like I'll have the lights off. People are like, oh yeah, everything looks cool. And then I turn on the lights, everyone's like, dang, like they pop out. And it really does, make the car pop out a lot. So I absolutely love them, and they're phenomenal. Jay killed them. Going on, so the hood, I was talking about getting good deals with friends and everything. One of my buddies used to have this hood, and it had a crack that was, I don't know, probably about a foot long at the top. So as Ed would say, I did some shrewd negotiating. And I got this hood for a whopping $250.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like probably cheaper than an OEM one.
Exactly. Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. So I was like, man, this is phenomenal. I had a plan in mind. I'm like, all right. So I took it to a shop. Actually, there's a guy named Derek over here, DNA Design, and he knocked it out of the park. He actually did my bumper and the hood. He repainted the hood because it was kind of flawed before, but he made it definitely better. So yeah, he actually did something that I haven't really seen anyone else do too. He filled in, there used to be a line right there around the hood scoop, so he had that filled in, had it painted, and he also did the bumper at the same time too. So it's, like I said, I really like finding good deals, and it's fun doing everything.
That's so awesome. I've never seen that before actually, like this like hood scoop design, or I guess just the molded hood scoop, I guess you could call it, looks really unique because I've never seen it, and it's something you wouldn't really think of.
Yeah.
But I guess everything happens for a reason, and having that crack go through it to kind of make you want to mold it, I think it ended up being a good thing because now it looks really cool having that molded hood scoop, which looks really nice. And then the wheels on this car, these things are beautiful. So what wheels are these, and could you give us the specs on them?
Yeah, these are Ray Graham Lights 57DRs. I love this style of wheel. I've always been a fan of the Volk, like the TE37 look. And again, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I drove up to a guy in Concord, North Carolina. This actually came off of a pretty high horsepower GTR. It was phenomenal. So they're actually 18 by 10.5 plus 22. So they're pretty thick. They're pretty wide, I
mean, to fit them like, with this much camber to be this low, you gotta run some pretty aggressive specs to get that.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, these wheels are less aggressive than the previous wheels I had on. I got these wheels specifically. I haven't done it yet, but I plan on taking more of that camber out the back to make it match the front. So that was a really big reason, and just the look of the wheels. I mean, it's I'm a really big fan of the raised wheels. Love their products. You know, I've always seen these wheels. I'm like, man, someday I would love to own some of those. So I just got a really good deal on it, and I said, why not? So
awesome,
yeah.
man. They're really beautiful wheels, and my favorite thing about them is just how concave they are. You know, with that offset, dude,
Yes.
like being bagged, it just looks, I love it. It's such a perfect car. And then go ahead and tell us, what air suspension are you on?
Yeah, so this is an Airlift 3P kit. Also, Facebook Marketplace. Got it from a guy in Warner Robins, actually. He was a super cool guy. Messaged him, you know, shrewd negotiating as always. And basically, yeah, I went up there, picked them up, and took it back to my house and installed them with my buddies and slapped it on in the driveway. It was a fun process, don't get me wrong. There were some moments I'm like, man, this is tough, but no, it's helpful having a group of guys that, you know, that know what they're doing to help you along. So I was super blessed to have that happen and, you know, get it to where it needed to be.
You've definitely done an amazing job with this thing.
Thanks, man.
It's unique. It's the cleanest WRX, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. I mean, I love this thing. Everything's just perfect. Everything flows. The color's really nice. You know, you've got the white car, the black wheels. I think overall is a really nice car. But let's go and take the car for a drive and see how it feels.
Don't got no heart, I got an icebox. Bring the roller, swap out the G-Shock. Moving slowly, I know the street hype. No more double, go ahead and detox. Yeah, yeah. Came from the trenches, they ain't showing us no love. Dying in the city, all we wanted was a hug. Yeah. We on the block like every night to catch a buzz. See the cash, take me feeling out the hood. There's a buzz.
So right off the bat, the WRX is a really nice car because it's a sedan, so it has all 4 doors that you need for, you know, regular daily driving, but at the same time, it's also a very fun car to drive. Now, Peter, go ahead and tell us, what's your experience been like, you know, driving the car? Do you daily drive it? How has it been, you know, outside of performance, just like regularly driving it?
Yeah, so for the first, I'd say 4 years I had this car, I've had this car for 5 years, it was my daily driver. So, you know, with that, that's why, you know, I was looking at a BRZ, and I was looking at the WRX. And the reason why I didn't go with the BRZ was because of practicality reasons and also the turbo on this. I really wanted that turbo. I love the noises that it makes. So that was a big reason why I went towards this. Also, so when comparing it to the STI, I love the STI. Like I said, very driver oriented, but from what I needed the car to do, I wanted to have the gas mileage, and you know, I wasn't tracking the car or anything, and I still don't. So just every type of thing. I mean, budget, you know, gas mileage, reasons that the reason why I drive the car, it just all made sense to go with the WRX. So that's really the main reasons why I went with this car.
So go ahead and tell us like the differences between the WRX and the STI, and what was it really about the WRX that made you want the WRX over the STI?
Yeah, so STI has been a platform that's been around for a good amount of time. It's got the EJ motor, and you know, people that don't know about it, the EJ has been around for a little bit. It's been I can't remember exactly, but a good amount of the previous generation STI is the EJs. And the difference between this motor and that motor is this is an FA motor. So this one is a 2.0 liter. It's got twin scroll turbo, and it also has the equal length headers. And everyone, you know, some people be like, oh, why does that one have the rumble? Why does that one, you know, not? It's all because of the headers. So because this one has equal length headers, it doesn't have that rumble. But you know, there are companies that make equal length for this car. I've heard a lot of things about them. You know, some people, they say if you're not pushing any crazy power, like anything over 500, 600, it's good. It's okay to use in the car. But just for, I don't know, I mean, if you're looking for that sound, it's awesome. You know, it sounds really good. But you know, if you plan on pushing for some power later on, better just stick with the EJ from what we know so far.
If we're just talking sound, it's like all personal preference. You know, which one do you like more? But I guess with your car, you're going for that performance. But are you on aftermarket equal lengths, or are you on the stock ones?
No, so I am on the stock ones, and what a lot of people do, which I would love to do this eventually, is they get, whether it's Killer B or some PRL, you know, one of those companies, they make these headers with external wastegates. And I don't know if you ever heard of external wastegates. They're mad crazy. They're super loud, and it just sounds like a freight train coming at you. You know, the sound that it makes is just, it's so unique.
funny. Oh my gosh. I love the way this car sounds because no other car sounds like the WRX. Like, I would even argue, I like the way the WRX sounds over an STI. It has kind of this, like, almost, it sounds like a video game where it's like this electronic sound. Like, I've never heard it with any other car. And, you know, it might just be because of the equal length and the turbo, and I think for the most part it is because of the turbo. But it just has this cool sound that you don't tend to hear with other cars. And it's a very Subaru specific sound outside of being, you know, if you get like unequal length headers, outside of having rumble, this one actually has like a really nice sound too, which I love.
Yeah, and I think you know, adding that bypass valve in the intake really wakens up the sound of the turbos of these cars. I mean, it's night and day difference. Once you put that intake on, you hear those whoosh noises, and then the bypass valve, I've got a boom on this, it has a little bit of that flutter in it. It's just, you know, it's little touches.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, even just getting on it here lightly. Oh, you just hear those turbo flutters, like. I can do that all day long.
Yeah.
I feel like rolling into boost, out of boost, into boost, out of boost. It's so fun.
Yep, I do it all the time. It's so good.
It's such a beautiful sounding car, and I really love it.
Like, as it's decelerating, he was barely putting gas on.
Is that it right there?
Yep.
It sounds so good.
Yeah.
It does it all day long, and I love it. Oh my gosh, these things sound amazing. You know, I think with your exhaust setup, it is perfect. Like, this thing just sounds amazing. So what is your actual, like, you know, specific part by part, what is your exhaust setup on here?
Yeah, so we're starting from the turbo. I got the ETS J-pipe, and the J-pipe is, I love that thing. That, going catless, or even a high flow cat, you will hear the turbo a lot more in these cars. So I have that. I have the Nameless Performance exhaust as well. So that essentially has a small resonator in the mid-pipe, and then it's no mufflers in the back. So it's almost a straight pipe, but that resonator helps keep it, you know, a little bit tame, not really any drone. It's probably, like I said, well, it's my favorite exhaust so far. And I've had about 3 or 4, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just such a nice, it's a really crisp sound, so.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, these things just sound amazing. And what I love is how, like, it almost, like, I don't want to say hesitates, but it has like that, I think it's basically the turbo spooling out, but it's like that, like. As it's building up, and the turbos on these cars sound amazing. And this is factory turbo, right?
Yep. And actually, it's kind of interesting too. I didn't really realize this until I was taking the J-pipe off and put a new one on. These come stock with a Garrett turbo. Like, I guess Subaru partnered with Garrett for this, but you take off that J-pipe and all the heat shields, and it says Garrett right on the side of it.
It literally says Garrett on it.
It says Garrett, yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's actually so awesome.
Yeah.
So even running the stock turbo, like, you'd probably, you know, enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can push, from what I've heard, if you're on flex fuel and, you know, other supporting mods, you can, some people are getting close to like 450, 460. And that's with like meth, you know, flex fuel, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, it's got a lot of potential. So
for sure.
Granted, the trans, maybe, you know, you want to beef that up too, but it's possible, you know, you can still do some stuff.
Now, let's talk about the suspension on this car. So your car is bagged.
Yep.
And let's be real, it's a little bit stiffer than, you know, like factory suspension, what that would be. Just kind of tell us about that. How has it been treating you, just like driving the car, you know, frequently and things like that?
Yeah, so from the very beginning, all right, when I got this car, I put the tame street bases Z coils on there, where they didn't even have adjustable damping at the top. Which is a really good deal. Again, on Facebook, I got them from a guy in New York and or New Jersey. But anyway, they were pretty good. You know, it wasn't too much different than stock. It was still stiff enough where I felt confident driving the car, but not stiff enough where I'm like bouncing in place, you know, everywhere. And then straight when I went into this, I immediately wanted to go, you know, I was really about the look of going like, oh, like slammed as soon as you air it out. So because of that, I set my bags really far down on the struts, and I tightened everything up. So from the very beginning, everything's been the stiffest. So I haven't really, I should experiment with it actually after I take the camera out, but I'm gonna.
Right now we're on like the stiffest setting. And I mean, it's fine, like, you know, swaying it side to side and cornering it, I mean, it handles everything, and it's quite nice. Let's go ahead and try a third gear pull here. I love it. But let's go ahead and have you drive the car, because I think you'll definitely do a much better job at showing off the pops and how to accelerate this thing. So let's go ahead and get to that. That's so much fun.
That's sick. Certain flames that it does where it literally, like, you can feel it like travel through the car.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That one.
That was a flame.
Yeah, that was definitely
wow.
Big time.
That was 100% a flame.
Yeah.
Those are so loud. So there you have it. That was Peter's WRX. It's a super fun car and it was a blast to drive it. But if you enjoyed the video and want to see many more just like it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.